Samsung might finally catch up to Apple and maybe even surpass it in one area where iPhones have had the upper hand for nearly a decade: secure face unlock. The Galaxy S27 Ultra, expected in early 2027, could introduce a brand new system called Polar ID, a technology that might make traditional face unlock, even Apple's Face ID, look outdated. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. Here's why this matters. Ever since Apple launched Face ID with the iPhone X back in 2017, Android makers have tried to match that level of security. Some got close in convenience, but none matched it in trustworthiness. Most Android face unlocks rely on a simple camera image, which means they can be tricked with photos, videos, or masks, something Apple's 3D depth mapping system avoids. That's why even Samsung's current flagships, like the Galaxy S25 Ultra, can't use facial recognition for secure payments. But if these leaks are true, that's about to change, and in a big way. According to early firmware reports, Samsung is testing a new Polar ID v1.0 system built around what's described as a polarized-light authentication system. It's powered by Samsung's isocell vision sensor and paired with a secure enclave routine, basically a locked-down part of the phone that keeps biometric data protected. And the impressive part? It reportedly unlocks your phone in around 180 milliseconds. That's about as fast as Face ID, but with potentially even greater accuracy and resistance to spoofing. So what exactly makes Polar ID different? It's based on technology developed by a company called MetaLens, which specializes in something called optical metasurfaces. These are ultra-thin lenses that manipulate light at a microscopic level, and they allow sensors to capture the full polarization state of light. In simpler terms, Polar ID doesn't just see your face, it reads the way light interacts with your skin structure, creating a kind of polarization signature that's unique to you. MetaLens claims this makes it nearly impossible to fool. Even high-end 3D masks or silicone replicas, the kind that can sometimes beat older systems, are instantly detected as fake because they don't reflect light the same way real skin does. And this isn't just vaporware. Polar ID has been in development for years, and MetaLens actually partnered with Qualcomm back in 2023 to bring this tech to mobile devices. Then, at Mobile World Congress in 2024, MetaLens confirmed that it was working with Samsung's ISOCELL Vision 931 sensor, the exact one mentioned in the recent Galaxy S27 Ultra leak. That connection makes these rumors much more credible. What's really interesting is that Polar ID might also solve one of the biggest complaints people still have about Apple's Face ID, the hardware bulk. Apple's system requires a structured light projector, the main reason the iPhone still has that big dynamic island cutout. In contrast, Polar ID's sensor is compact enough to fit in much smaller spaces, meaning Samsung could offer top-tier facial recognition without needing a huge notch or cutout on the screen. If Samsung pulls this off, the Galaxy S27 Ultra could be the first Android phone to finally match or even exceed the iPhone's biometric security and do it with sleeker design. Now, sure, these are still early leaks and the source isn't the most reliable track record-wise, but all the pieces line up logically. Samsung and MetaLens have already been collaborating, the ISOCELL Vision sensor is real, and the timing, a few years after the partnership was announced, makes sense for a commercial debut in 2027. If this happens, it could finally bring true face-based authentication to Android, not just for unlocking your phone, but also for banking, payments, and secure apps. Right now, Android users usually rely on fingerprints for that level of trust. But a Polar ID system that's fast, compact, and nearly impossible to spoof could change how Android handles security entirely. And honestly, it's about time. By the time the Galaxy S27 Ultra launches, it'll have been nearly 10 years since Apple introduced Face ID. For a platform that prides itself on innovation, it's surprising that Android hasn't had a comparable alternative. What's exciting is that this could finally give users real choice. Some people prefer fingerprints, some people prefer face unlock, and having both options, both secure, just makes sense. Plus, if Samsung's solution is smaller, faster, and more efficient, it might even push Apple to rethink how it handles Face ID in future iPhones. Maybe this is what finally lets Apple shrink or even remove the dynamic island. So, while we're still waiting for the Galaxy S26 to arrive, it's already clear that Samsung is looking ahead, not just chasing Apple, but aiming to outdo it in one of the most important areas of modern smartphone design: trust. If the Galaxy S27 Ultra really does launch with Polar ID, it won't just be another spec bump. It'll be the moment Android finally catches up to and even overtakes the iPhone in the one place that matters most: how safely and seamlessly your phone knows it's you. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.